So you can see that, she's like
Yeah.
the way she screams into the pillow.
Easily approach this other family saying that your son likes my daughter,
Yeah.
and this whole sequence has happened, and which is why her. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel. This is Dramalogue, and this is Sunny from Dramalogue with Hina. Hi, Hina. How are you
Hey,
today?
I'm good. How are you?
You're looking good. I think the summer tan has
You
set
can tell
in.
I'm at home today.
Yeah, you look comfortable. The kids are comfortable, so
Yeah.
so it's a happy day.
It's a
And
happy day.
today we have a very exciting episode. We're gonna be reviewing Parvarish after I think a hiatus of 3 weeks, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
we spoke was about 3 weeks ago. So a lot has happened in Parvarish in this 3 weeks. A lot of conversation out there in the social media. It's an exciting show, and we have our divergent views on it. So I'm
Yes.
gonna start with Hina because Hina, we haven't heard about your views on Parvarish in a long time now. So I know you love the show.
Yeah,
So
I'm loving it.
what
I'm still loving it. The more I watch it, the more I fell in love with Parwarish.
oh,
And
really?
yeah, oh my God, I'm loving it.
All
So,
right.
and yeah, and I am loving each and every character in it. And recently,
Okay.
actually, I heard the interview of the writer, Kiran,
Hmm.
at another channel, and I listened to the whole interview, and I can see where it's coming from. She's so
Okay.
fresh. She's so educated. The way she talks, the way she was carrying herself, I can tell she's a smart woman. She's like
Hmm.
today's person. That's why Parvarish is progressive. I
Hmm.
mean,
Hmm. Hmm.
as compared to other dramas that we are seeing these days, this is the
Yeah.
only one that I'm watching. Others are
Oh.
honestly, they are all crap.
All
This is
right.
the only one which I'm liking.
Yeah.
I don't get the viewer, like the the YouTube ratings, and like I don't get the millions of views on those two other dramas which just has a specific actor in it, and
Couldn't
it
agree
is it
more.
is yes. But I if you will ask me, my friends, the social circle around it, everybody loves Parvarish.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
because of many reasons, like it is uh, it is it is about our younger generation. It is about parenting. So you
Hmm.
everybody can relate to it at some
Hmm.
extent, like
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, I do relate to the parents now because now I have kids. I
Yes.
I can. Yesterday I was watching it and I saw a scene from the lab where they were around the microscope. It reminded me of my time
Oh,
back in
yeah.
when I was in when I was in Shifa, and we were in pathology lab. It seems like a long time
Similar.
ago, but yeah, I was like, oh yeah, we were like that in the
Been
lab,
there,
and
done that.
been there, done that. The so all these kids are doing such a good job, very phenomenal job, and
Yes.
Namanaja and all the parents, Namanaja, Savera, Pana, and everybody, and
Yeah. Yeah.
Maya's parents. I mean, it is. I mean, they both of Bakhtavar is like doing such a phenomenal job. So, I mean, I feel like it's a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I do
That's
feel like that.
yeah. Interesting that you mentioned that you've seen the interview of the writer. So is she from abroad, or what's
No,
her
no, no. She's from Pakistan. She
oh,
went to this
okay.
school, Napa, back in. Actually, the director, the writer, everybody's from Napa.
Okay.
That's why it seems like that this is coming from people who have who have certain sense, and they know how things are done, like the dialogues, like you
Mm,
I mean,
mm,
you that's how normal people talk, like
yeah. Mm,
that's
mm,
what I really love about Parvarish. When they're talking about that, it's like it's not dramatic or anything. That's the way
yeah.
the kid is going to talk to the mother. That's the way the mother is going to respond. That's the way the wife is going to respond to the husband. That
Right. Right. Yeah.
um it's very all of these things are very new, very fresh.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, it's my like relaxed time, something to make
Go
me
to.
feel happy, feel good, though it's very serious on the other side.
Yeah. Mm,
The thing that really started loving about it, about the mental health of these young kids, which
mm,
in our when we were there of their age, when we were in like schools and colleges, I mean, I don't think so there was such a trend of like that you get therapy and you talk about mental health issues.
mm,
But in
mm,
Parvarish, you can see every child struggling through something.
Mm-hmm.
and which
Mm-hmm.
is
Yeah.
normal at their
Yeah.
age. And you have
Mm-hmm.
to, the last night when I was seeing the episode, um this young kid was trying to harm himself. This is so common that you see,
Yeah.
and no one
Yeah.
addressed them. The mom came into
Right.
the room and she left, and it was so scary for me as a mother to, that I would
Mm.
not see that my child was just about to harm themselves. So I
Right.
just love all of those. That's why they are giving awareness to the parents, that about the mental issue too, mental health
Mm.
too.
That is true. Yes. Yes. So yeah. So it is very true that that all of the things that they're showing, the depiction, the screenplay is very modern. Like it's like your everyday story happening in front of you, right?
Hmm.
I have two issues with Parwarish. One is the title itself, right? They say it's Parwarish, and then they show you two families. One which has kids. One is like very born and brought up in Pakistan, kids, a family of like very core Desi family. And the other one is, they came from that family, but they settled abroad for a long time. And it seems like the mother, Savera's character, her whole family is based in US or around somewhere abroad, not in Pakistan. So she is somebody who kind of like is more familiar with this with the life in outside Pakistan as opposed to a life in Pakistan. And then reluctantly they have moved to Pakistan, and so have the kids with the parents. And to some extent, we see a very dominating father here. But when you say Parvarish and you see that seemingly everything is going right with the kids who have been born and brought up in Pakistan, the parents are apparently doing everything correct, as opposed to the family that has moved from abroad, they seem to be very
Everything,
dysfunctional.
yeah, everything is teared apart for them
Yeah, so it's not because of this move, they're just dysfunctional to begin with,
to
right?
begin with. Hmm.
Right? So for me, if you call it a show Parvarish, automatically you're biasing the audience that things go haywire when you're trying to raise kids up outside as opposed to when the kids are raised in Pakistan. We haven't yet seen the real issues with the kids raised in Pakistan. What little we can see as viewers is not being addressed in the show. And you see that these kids are way matured and that they're able to handle their own stress as well as stress outside. They're able to go to their parents and share their problems, whereas the outset is completely lost
Yeah.
and traumatized at the same time, right? And it's all the parents thing doing, right? I mean, you and me, we have moved from, India and Pakistan, and we have raised kids here. I don't think we are that oblivious to our kids, right? Like, we are on top of things with them, right? Where are they
Yeah.
going? Who are they meeting? Or how are they doing in their studies? We're on top of it. And honestly, the families I've seen who've moved back, especially the families from USA. I'm only familiar with families who moved back from USA. The main concern the parents have is, will the kids adjust? And most important thing that they worry about are their studies, because we know very well that education back home is way competitive and way higher advanced than education in US. So well, the prime thing we worry about is the kids studies. And here you see a mother who's never nowhere involved, engaged with her own kids, right? What are they studying? What are they doing? She
And
hardly comes to
apparently,
them.
she's been shown as a housewife too.
Yes, she's a housewife too, and she is doing, like, she's working. She's trying to work. Everything is fine, but at no point do you see her coming to her kids and trying to see, are you guys doing okay? How are you guys doing? What about your studies? Show me what you've done. Especially the younger one, who she knows that has got some issues already, and she has faced bullying in school before. How is she
Yeah.
doing in her studies? And it goes to the point that she fails in all her subjects, and she's traumatized and she's panic stricken, and yet the mom is not really involved. In fact, that is very unusual to me. I don't think it ever happens. What kind
I
of
don't think
parents are
so.
you showing? So for me, I'm like, if you name this Parvarish, you should have taken out the other factor, which is coming from abroad. If you had taken that factor out, anyways, we don't relate to these families as like settled abroad family, right? The kids don't
Hmm.
speak the way they should, they behave the way they should. So and so if you take that out, that variable out of the story and name it, make it any story from Pakistan, two families from Pakistan. This family could have moved from Islamabad or Karachi or
Yeah,
Lahore.
that's what I said before too, that this family seems like
Yeah.
they would have, if they would have moved from Middle East or something, that would have made
Yes.
total sense. But not from
Yes.
US. No.
Not
No.
from US.
Not
The
from
fact of
US. Not from US.
it
So that's
makes
why we being in US, we couldn't relate to this part of it. So when I'm watching
absolutely.
it, I just get this thing out of my system that they have moved from US. I just
Yes.
say it out. And then
Yes.
I enjoy it. Because
Yes.
it'll start making sense to me, because people from US not even, they don't move back to Pakistan
Yeah.
for for helping their daughter for alcohol or drugs addiction, because this is all like going on back in Pakistan too. Like,
Yeah.
in their
Yes.
schools there is a drug problem too. And
Yes.
you have
Yes.
rehabs available. There is you can over here people will change their state, they will change
Yeah.
their neighborhood. If they
Yeah.
see their, that's the maximum they would not go. They will go to Pakistan for their children to be in a med school. That would have
Mm.
made sense.
Mm.
If they
Yeah.
would have
Hmm.
gone there just to have Wali going to the med school over there, just because here it's a longer process, a lot of money involved. So
Mm.
yes, I have seen Pakistani families moving back to US to Pakistan for their kids' medical education. Yes, for
Right.
5 years
Right.
they'll go with their children. That would have made sense.
Yeah. The moment you bring in this external factor of, kids raised abroad, you want to see the raised abroad, thing coming into the way of Parvarish, right? And this is
Yeah.
not the case. Like, okay, you're not able to raise your kid correctly because they have been raised abroad. It's more like you are dysfunctional yourself as parents, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
why you can't raise a kid. So, so for me, it's like, please take that part away.
Yeah, I wish they would have fixed this part.
Yeah.
That's one of the really biggest flaw, because the kids don't speak like the kids from here.
Yes.
Like it seemed like somebody has moved from Middle East, like likely from Dubai or Qatar back to Pakistan.
Back to, yeah, and
That's yeah,
they're just dysfunctional as a family
they're
itself.
just
So it's like,
dysfunctional to begin with.
whether the kids were raised in Pakistan or India or abroad, they would
Yeah,
have behaved the same way. They would have taken the same route and had the
yeah.
same, grudge or whatever. For me, it's like, if you're questioning the parvarish of, the what is it? Who are the characters again? Like Jahangir and Manor,
JB,
right?
yeah,
Yes, JB and Manor. You should actually question the parvarish of the grandparents because they have produced a Jahangir with all
and
their.
he is so messed up.
He's so
He is
messed
totally
up.
messed up.
Yes.
He's not a good father. No, he's not.
No, it's not a good father. It's not a good human being.
He's
Period.
not a good
Because
human being.
I
Like
mean,
how he talked to Manu when she was going for her job,
yes,
he didn't
yes,
appreciated her. He's so full of himself,
yes. Yeah, it's
and
like,
he
do
doesn't
whatever you want
see.
to. Don't expect anything from me. I mean,
Yeah, he
you're
just
just
decides
not a good
something, and
person.
he's one of those guys who just decides something in their mind and they just make sure everybody just executes it. That's why
Yes.
the
So
kids are
when will we
suffering.
question? Yeah, when will we question the grandparent about your parvarish? Right. So we don't, and that's a huge flaw in our society, right?
It's
You
a huge problem.
produce all this men and then women, and they go out, and now they have dysfunctional families, and the problem is the men and women themselves. Nobody questions the parents, right? So here they should, if you're calling the show Parvarish, question the Parvarish of the mom and the dad. And one of our viewers actually brought up a good point. She actually said that, do you realize that JB is same as JB's mother? He's
Oh yeah,
reluctant.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh
I was
yeah,
like,
you
that's
can
a
see
good
the
point,
toxicity
right?
from her being transferred into JB 100%. You can
Yeah.
see that the mom has raised JB.
Yes, and
You
I
can
mean,
see
like
that.
her, he's reluctant to changes. He's reluctant to go, give modernization a chance. He
Mm.
wants to go back to the olden days. So it's very much similar, right? So at one point we should question that, right?
Yeah,
And then the other two kids, they have their own stresses. Like, for example, Samir is missing Wali and he stays outside most of the time. Amal is in love with Wali, but she can't, vocalize it. So we see those stresses, but at the same time, we see that they have a better handle of their lives than these kids that are come from abroad, like, Wali as
yeah.
well as the
Their
younger
parents have a
one.
strong relationship. I mean,
Yeah.
Amal has again shown to have a lot of anxiety issues. She's very
Yes.
she's very quiet person. She doesn't talk to. like a lot of people around her, so you can see that, she's like a
Yes.
the way she screams into the pillow. And I
Yes.
felt for her. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
she's that person who's
Yeah.
not gonna go out and tell everybody that, hey, I love this guy, or I no, 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 this whole thing is going on about them getting married, and all of a sudden the guy said, oh, I'm gonna leave the house. So how she felt.
Yes.
But she's not gonna go out and express, and
Yes.
so here comes the role of Pana. Like, she has no clue what's going on with Amal.
Yeah.
You can
She's
see
happy
that,
that
right?
her kids are doing everything correct in front of her, so
Yes,
she's pretty
she's
happy.
making these roti without the roti maker. So that's
Yeah.
that's the thing. That is a thought-provoking thing. That's what I liked about the smart writing. That they are
Yeah.
telling you Amal is suffering. She's doing really good in her studies. She's
Yeah.
suffering here, like she needs that support. But
Yeah.
again, her parents, her mother and her father, they both are very busy. They are thinking that everything is perfect around them with their children, but again, they are
Yeah.
suffering too.
Yeah.
Mother has no clue.
Yeah.
Mother's too busy entertaining everybody, feeding
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. But nobody brings it up with the mother. Nobody brings it up in the family that, hey, have you even talked to Amal
Because
lately?
she's not visible. Amal's problem is not visible to anybody.
Right. But
Whose job is
Samin,
it to find out what's going on with Amal?
right,
Amal's
right,
parents, right?
right. But I don't see anybody saying like at any point of time, like, you're so busy with your own chores that when do you spend time with your own kids? Have you ever gone to
Yes.
their room? I don't
Home?
hear anybody speaking
No,
about that, right?
no.
Whereas they're complaining about Manur, they're complaining that, Manur is not doing a good job with the kids, that those complaints are happening.
Manur is
Uh,
actually trying. You are saying on the other aspect. I mean, she's failing, but she's
yeah,
trying. She went into the school so she can keep an eye on her daughter. She
right,
she was like, I'm not gonna be in the kitchen cooking food for everybody. I would
right.
rather go to the school and help my daughter. She needs my.
Yeah,
She's identifying the problems. Pana
yeah.
is not.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't know if they're going to show it later. I don't know. I haven't seen the episode from today, but yesterday's
Mm.
episode, they show that Mahanur's the daughter's teacher tell Mahanur that she has failed again, and
Yeah,
this is after a very easy test. And Mahanur takes a look at the paper and all, but back home she doesn't address it with the child. She's like, "How are you doing? Everything is fine. You sleep with me." At no
yeah.
point does she bring it
No
up,
point.
like
She bring it up. Listen, you
yeah,
failed all the exams again, and you need to like
yes,
please address
exactly.
this.
Exactly. And at the
I
same
don't-
time, she doesn't even sit with her. Like, the daughter is sitting all alone and doing her homework. She doesn't even sit with her and see, like, how are you doing? Let me see what you're doing, right? I
Mhm.
would be like that mom if I hear from a teacher that, hey, your daughter is failing again and again and again. I would be hovering over them, supervising everything that they're doing.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
most of my friends are like that. Like most
Yeah,
of
yeah.
friends
We all
in
gonna do the
US.
same thing. We will try to
Yeah.
make sure we'll have a conversation with our child. What's going on?
Yes.
Tell us.
Yes.
How can we help?
Yeah.
Let me find a
Yes.
tutor for you. Let me see
Yes.
what's going on.
Tutor. Great point.
Tutor.
Everybody I know who's moved back, the first thing they did is hire tutors
Hi,
because
tutor.
we don't know the language. For example, when you move back to India, you have to study a local language. So the
Mm-hmm.
first thing they do is hire a tutor for that. Then,
Yeah.
math is weaker here as opposed to back home. So they hire a tutor for math and STEM. So
Yeah.
it's just that everybody I know who has done this transition is like all on top of their kids. They sometimes
Um,
overdo it actually. Over here is like, Wali's dad literally bought a new car and handed over the key to him and said, like, go drive. This is a new country. The rules are different. The roads are different. Won't you? He doesn't even know which road leads to where.
yeah.
Whether this area is safe or not, whether that area is safe or not. You, on the other hand, come from that part. Any dad would take the kid with him a few times, show him the ways, and then maybe hand over the keys. You just don't hand over the keys like that. So this is so
Especially somebody who has lived in US. Like,
yeah,
they have no
yes,
clue.
yeah.
That's why I'm
Even
telling you, if you will start imagining that these people have not moved from US and they have moved from Middle East, it will start making sense to you.
and I keep getting stuck there. I'm like, we don't do any of that. Don't blame us like that. Like, don't have
Yeah.
a stereotypical view of women and men, parents
Exactly.
settle abroad, right? Our kids don't behave like this, to be
But
honest.
one thing I like, Sunny, is like Parvarish is a conversation starter. I've seen
It's
a lot of
definitely
people talking about it. A lot of parents
Yes.
watching it, a lot of kids watching
Yes.
it. People are watching it with their young
Absolutely.
kids, they're enjoying it. It's one show you can watch with your family. Nobody's
Absolutely.
shown except like JB too super negative. Like, there is some, like when you see a very really dark scenes going on, then you will get some relief, some comedy,
Yeah.
something you will
Yeah.
get some relief.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
like nice. It's very intense.
It's very
Two
intense. Hmm.
two two scenes which made me cry was one when Anna Maya's mom stood up for her. Bakhtawar did an amazing job. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, that is something
Yeah.
else. Like, the way she
Yes.
did it. And the other was when Numanajas and Wali were fighting, and Numanajas said that I gave birth to you. I have a right on you. And I was
Hmm.
like, gosh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's how a lot of parents feel. I mean, you can
Yeah.
relate to it.
Yes, they do. They do. That scene was really intense, and
That's the clear scene was really
that's the
intense.
reason why Wally left, right? The
Yeah.
home, his home, because that was the final straw in the, I mean,
It's too
final
suffocating for
nail
him
in
now.
the
His
coffin.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, his father is like trying to like, and that
yeah.
happens. It happens.
Yeah, this is common, right? Desi parents sometimes kind of
Desi
push
bench.
push the envelope in that direction and try to control every aspect of the child. I agree. Um, the what was weird to me was JB. He was settled abroad. He spent a lot of time abroad. He even raised his kids abroad. He doesn't he doesn't have the concept of consent from the girl before you propose marriage, and you kind of throw it out there like that.
Because he's so full of himself. Like, Pana
Huh.
reacted and he was like, stop,
Yeah.
he's just so
Stop.
full. He doesn't listen to
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah. He's
That's
just so
just
full
more
of
like his
himself.
personality. So here's the thing. Do you think everybody who's from Pakistan or India living in US is changed now just because if they live here for 10 years, does their way of thinking or, processing things change? No. Some people don't change at all.
Yeah, that's true. That is a good point.
America
Yeah.
didn't do any good to JB. People like JB, and
Yeah,
honestly,
that's for sure.
I have seen people like him here. They're still
Oh,
living
is it?
here. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh my
You'll see.
God.
Houston has a huge Pakistani community. You see all
Okay.
kind of people here.
Hmm.
Like, so I see that
Oh, that's
people don't
interesting.
change. People
Yeah.
don't change at all.
I was like, basic things will be different, right? Like consent of the bride would be important. Like I haven't talked to Amal about it. I'm not going to throw it out there like that. Definitely not going to force my son to marry somebody, right? Especially when he's saying that he likes another person. At that point, I'm not going to say, no, you marry this other person. I mean, I would have understood if JB was against the idea of him marrying right now because he's
Which
too
is fair.
young, which is
Too
fair.
young, which is fair.
उसके ऊपर झगड़ा होता तो समझ में आती, but the झगड़ा, the way it turned for, again, JB being settled abroad, उसका there was no difference between JB and a similarly similar person in who's lived all his life in Pakistan,
It
right?
seems like
So
JB never settled here to begin with.
yes, JB
That's
doesn't
why he
act
moved
like
back.
somebody. Yes, and then but then the other part is like when things are heating up like this, what is the grandpa's role? Why is he just sitting and watching? He could have easily stopped the whole blow up by saying, "Quiet ho jao. I'm the head of the house. I had called for this meeting. Now, like, quiet down, calm down, and we'll think about it again tomorrow." Right? Well, the entire time he was just a mood spectator watching the whole show. Right? ये चिल्ला रहा है, वो चिल्ला रहा है, ये हो रहा है, अमल के सच
But
आपकी बात हो रही है.
that also seemed
You're just saying,
real to me because ऐसा ही होता like when they're like like when this brother started fighting and then Maya's father was like arguing with them. So he's old. So he
yeah,
was like, I need to like then he intervened at some point. Then he's like, okay, I'll give you an answer in give me some time. And then
yeah.
he's like, everybody quiet.
Yeah, but when JB and Wally are going against each other with really hurtful words from JB, at that point nobody intervened, and him being the head of the house, where is his parvarish now?
So
This
the
is a
thing,
part of
what
his
I thought about it,
parvarish.
Sunny, because what I was thinking, because I think he was scared that he's gonna be, look, snubbed by his son. just the way
True.
he was. Yeah, and he didn't wanted the whole family to see that because you just never know.
Yeah. You never know. But
You
then
never
this
know.
is
JB could
where,
have totally tell him you stay out of it or something like that.
yes,
You know,
which would have like,
which
but this,
nowadays a lot of grandparents and I have seen they stand on the side. They don't want to get involved in it because they know it's too much heated conversation for them.
okay, interesting,
Something,
right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
I would
it's too
have
much, and
thought
they don't
like,
want to be. They will probably later on talk to their son and try to calm him down,
which they did,
which they did
that,
ultimately. I mean, I think that was the point behind it, and it's also very real. It
okay.
happens in the families, like the
Okay.
especially these are all like these young kids. They don't even respect. I have heard a lot of stories that that back in Pakistan too. They don't even respect their fathers anymore. They'll start fighting
Mm.
back and like
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
would why would an older person would try to like intervene at that time until and unless it comes to a point where really he have to like intervene.
Yeah, but it came to that point. Vali was living the house, right? So it did come
Yeah,
to the point. But there it seemed like, and this is where Sana kind of like agrees with the like. For me, it was like at the point where Vali is leaving the house, the grandpa who had the authority to say something to the problem maker. Okay, like please everybody calm down and take a, this was not right on your half and this is not right on your half, but let's all retire and then we'll come back again. एक effort तो मारना चाहिए था मुझे ऐसा लगा, but वो नहीं किया. And I was like at that they all allowed Wally to leave the house because he's a guy and he will be fine out there. That was that was a conclusion they had, and so they kind of allowed him to leave the house right at that hour. But this is where me and Sana kind of differed because Sana it's like Sana is raised in US, right? So for her it's like, well, he's 18-year-old. He should be living outside and on his own,
anyhow
right?
to begin with.
Yeah, it's not unusual. And so why is the family falling apart
And I will
that
not
he
get
goes out?
it.
And I'm like, I get it. For Desi kid,
Yes.
you are in a foreign country.
So
For us,
Pakistan
it's a
is still
foreign
very
country.
far behind. We don't, so the kids still live with you until they get married. And unfortunately, they still live with you when they get married. Like, very unfortunate.
Yeah, it's still
And there
happening.
is nothing
It's
like privacy or nothing like independence and nothing like that comes,
right. She's like, 18, you should be outside. But I'm like, this is a guy who's come from abroad who has no familiarity with Pakistan. Definitely, he doesn't
Mm,
have a job or any idea how to get a job out there.
yeah.
No money in his pocket, no source of income whatsoever. And
No,
you're
no,
throwing
it's
him
very
out at the
different
street.
back in Pakistan. These kids are not going to be independent. Like when they are putting themselves
Yeah.
in so much danger
Oh,
by just
yes.
walking out of.
Yes.
Yes, it's not safe.
Yes, and there the grandpa's conclusion that he's a guy, he'll manage. I was a little taken aback. Like I don't think a grandpa think I would think like that, right? So
Mm.
I mean, if it was Samir, I would have understood because he knows his way around. He's got friends around. He will figure something out, maybe, right?
Yeah, my heart was thinking. I was like, oh my god, he's like he's gonna
Yeah.
be like
I
it's
mean,
not
yeah,
gonna be okay.
he will not stop.
He
I
won't be
agree,
able to
but
survive.
yeah, I couldn't find a single way like in how he can survive. And the reality is that, right? The reality is like next day Samir had to come and drop him food. He found a good guy, Samaritan, who was able to take him home and guide him. But in reality, this is not possible, right?
Not
And
possible.
this is like where the story went in the direction where again it's like a fantasy, right?
Yeah,
Everything
this was a
just
little bit of like you give them the it's a
yeah,
drama at the end of
it's
the
a
day. So
drama.
it's a little bit, yeah. It's
Yeah.
been stretched at this point because you're not gonna find a good person. Most likely, this person is gonna try to abuse him or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I
because
thought
he's a
that's where it's
good-looking young kid.
going.
He'll probably
Yeah,
introduce him to drugs, or he will do something bad to him.
yeah. He'll
Nothing more than
make him
that.
do something
Yeah.
really bad.
No, no, he's
So
not gonna be his mentor for like teaching him
yeah,
how you're gonna survive on your own. No, You don't
Yeah.
find people like that on the
Yes.
street of Pakistan. No.
Yes. Not even here. I wouldn't think this was a.
Yeah, you're not even in
Maybe.
New York.
So I was very surprised by how the rest of the family reacted to this, so seemingly stepping away of Wali.
But when I saw Kiran's interview, then I see where she coming from. Like probably she what it's in her mind is like she's trying to show for the very first time that a 17-year-old can get out of the house, can get up. This is toxicity. This is
Yeah.
not like parenting. This is
Yes.
toxicity that you're trying to tell him to go to which medical college. You're trying to get him to get married to which girl. Like,
Hmm.
you're just
Hmm.
trying to tell him
Control him.
everything, control him. And
Yes.
what she's trying to tell you, okay, he's gonna go out of the house, he's gonna survive on his
Hmm.
own. So
Hmm.
of course she has to find a way how he to because she's ultimately gonna show him successful. Like he's gonna be a musician,
Yeah.
probably he's gonna go back to his school as well to complete
Yeah.
his education, and then
Hmm.
he's gonna be okay. Not too soon, but after, like, she'll show him a successful. So she needs something to probably some
Hmm.
kind of help, like either
Yeah.
from a distant family or somebody. So
Hmm. Hmm.
that's how.
Hmm.
But on the other side, that's the thing. It's all new concept. Like that's why I'm loving Parvarish. That at least they're telling Pakistani society, or our Desi society, that this is how. Like think about it. Think about the
Yeah.
way you are thinking about your own children. Just think
Yeah.
about it, like what we are doing.
Right. Yeah. But you know what? The problem is the message is going to get diluted a little bit for Pakistanis because they're seeing it, ये तो बाहर से जो आते हैं वो ऐसे ही होते हैं. You
Oh
know?
yeah, that's
They're not relating कि यार हमारे बीच में भी ऐसे ही लोग हैं, मेरी चाचा में भी ऐसी है, मेरी भाई में भी ऐसा है, and at that point I have to intervene and say, and most of them are thinking कि like ये बाहर से जो लोग आते हैं ऐसे ही पागल होते हैं, उनके बच्चे ड्रग्स करते
बच्चे भी
होते
उनके
हैं,
आउट ऑफ कंट्रोल होते हैं, and they're gonna
हाँ,
behave like
और
that. No.
आके वो लोग लड़कीबाजी करने लग जाते हैं. That's how they're perceiving it. And I'm like, ऐसे नहीं होते. Like our kids, if you move them, the first thing that won't come to their mind is I'm going to start dating. It's not going to come to their mind.
Yes.
That's not.
No,
They
no.
are petrified of how we adjust to this society. What is going to happen to our career? We
First
wanted to
of
do
all, they're not gonna
something.
like somebody there, because
Yeah,
they
yeah, somebody they don't even know. They are
didn't
aware
know.
that socio-political, economical reasons are different here. So they are kind of
Yeah.
aware. So they are. That's the first thing they will do. So I felt like in this particular show, if they hadn't introduced that romantic angle and just kept it like Wali trying to figure out how to give up his dream and just succumb to his father, that would have been a better, because that is a Gen Z problem. The Gen Zs are much more open to alternate careers than we were. I mean, at least when I was growing up, we were convinced there are two options for us: medicine or engineering. Right? We didn't even
Yeah.
explore the possibility of other options, or we knew that if we go other directions, we would not have a successful life. But Gen Z, thankfully, they don't think like that, and they are willing to explore other options. So if that was the feud between Wali and his dad, that would have been a real Gen Z problem, a real Gen Z story. So when you see Parvarish being advertised as a Gen Z issue, this is not a Gen Z issue. Like Wali would have been the same or reacted the same way if he had a dad like that, whether he was raised abroad, whether he was Gen X
Yeah.
or or a boomer even. Like they would have still had he would have still had the
Yeah.
same altercation and same
True.
breakaway. So the seeing it as a Gen Z story is a wrong. Advertising it as Gen Z story is, I think, wrong in my opinion. But yes, as you said, a lot of fresh concept, a lot of fresh face, great performances, and I think we have to mention Maya's family. That is such a corrupt
Yeah.
family, man.
So
Oh my
toxic.
God,
So
so
toxic.
toxic. Like from the father is out and out toxic, but the mother is also equally toxic. She does do something good, but at the same time, look at her. She saw that the fiance was sort of traumatizing the daughter in her own home, in the kitchen, and she was waiting for the right time to tell the dad.
Yeah.
If Walid had not called off the wedding in that ugly fashion, she'd have never brought it
She
up to
would
the
have,
dad.
yeah, she would have, yeah.
How scary is that, right? I
Very
was
scary.
like,
I think probably they just wanted to like show that particular scene which she's gonna be
Yeah.
blew out of
Yeah.
proportion. I think it was
Right.
probably because of that. Because, but that was some serious stuff that they showed, and she should have
Yes.
totally reacted on that. I mean,
Yes.
any one of us would tell our
Yes.
husband right away, "Hey,
Right
listen,
away,
here
this
you
is
go,
not the
right
right
away. This is
guy,
not
and
acceptable."
this is unacceptable. Yes, and she doesn't do anything. On the contrary, Maya shares about Wally to her, and she conspires with the husband कि जाओ जाके अभी वली को पटाओ. If it turns out to be a good family, great. Because
Yeah,
then the whole manipulation game started on the other end.
yeah. Now they are
If
manipulate, so they are think like because they have told the other family that they found another rich guy, and who's a
yes,
like
yes,
so
yeah,
yeah.
and then now like क्या हुआ उसका क्या हुआ 2 हफ्ते में
But
2 दिन में
it's
call करके
really
बता दो.
it's believable.
Yeah,
That can
लेकिन
happen. It's believable.
probably, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, but I'm like, oh God, like, imagine if your son is in a sphere like this, and the girl who's been, chances are a girl raised in that manipulative environment is manipulative
Because
herself,
every
like,
let me tell you about like because I have done medicine, so if you which I have seen like for example there are like 5 years, right? So you see first year, second year, third year, fourth year, final year. So a lot of
hmm,
girls like their own class fellows, which was very common. I don't know if
yes,
it's that common to get married to your class fellow in other professions as well, but I have seen a lot, tons of physicians getting married to their their class fellow, their juniors from the same
hmm,
med school. Very common.
hmm,
So
yeah,
it's okay that
hmm,
they are together, because the reason that happens because you spend a lot of time together.
that's true,
You
right,
are in that cute age too, where hormonal age, where you're gonna
yeah,
and if they're
yeah,
if they're
yeah,
nice, then and it's fine, and then the parents are gonna be okay with it too, because they will do it together. They can build up their future together. They'll
right,
understand each other's problem more. So it's a very acceptable thing for the
right,
parents too.
right.
So
So I
so
would
that's
have
why
agreed
Maya's
that.
parents are okay, for that guy, and again he's rich too.
Yes,
So
but he could have easily approached this other family saying that your son likes my daughter,
yeah,
and this whole sequence has happened, and which is why her engagement is broken up. Now tell me what you have to do about this, right? He could have approached it
yeah,
that way, but he took a
yeah.
very manipulative approach, and this was, I mean, you can expect that from someone like Maya's dad, but the fact that the mother was also behind this, that is just so scary, right?
Hmm.
Like, like it's just
He's
so
manipulating.
scary.
Yeah,
She is on board with this whole manipulation approach. I mean,
because I guess she's been living with with that husband for such a long time that she has become like him too.
like him too,
She's
yeah.
sure not to be educated. She's just a very simple person that lives in the house, no exposure to anything. What do you
Hmm.
expect?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
she's
mean,
gonna
but
say yes. I mean, she at the end of the day, she has to live with that husband, right? She cannot go too much. She was just happy with the fact that that engagement is over. She
huh,
was happy with that fact,
true. And then
and then
the daughter,
she saw that her daughter is very happy with this guy. She
yeah.
saw that,
She
and then
saw
she's just
that.
trying to see if anything can happen,
Yeah. I mean, for me,
for
I
things
was
to
like,
work out.
it's okay that she didn't know that the husband is going to go there and start manipulating the family. So I was okay
Oh
with
yeah,
that. But it
yeah.
turned
I
out
would
that
not
she
like for a
knew.
husband like him. I would not let him go there by himself,
Yes, that's
because
true.
he's gonna ruin the things the way he already
Yes.
did.
But that's what I thought initially. But then turned
Yeah,
out that that was their plan. Their
she was
plan
okay with
was to
it. Yeah. Oh
manipulate.
my gosh.
She was,
Yeah.
that was like so scary. I mean, imagine if your son tomorrow falls in love with a girl like this, you'll be manipulated all your life.
Yeah.
So,
You'll be
uh,
scared. Yeah.
you'll be scared. Yeah.
You'll be
Yes.
scared.
Yes. Well, that was a good review of Parvarish. We are all enjoying the show. We have our different takes on it for sure, but nonetheless, it's a great attempt.
It's a
It's a
great
great,
watch. Everybody should watch it. It's a
yes,
light-hearted, very relatable, very
yes,
normal kind of a thing. You will disagree to a lot of things that's happening in the drama, but that's I like the fact that is starting the conversation.
right, right, absolutely,
Less much needed at this point, man. Like people need to know, like
right,
but I
right,
don't think so. I mean, that we pay so much attention to, like, back in Pakistan, we are occupied with too much other stuff that
Hmm.
we pay too much attention what's going on with our children's life. We have to be more involved.
Yes, yes.
Here we do it because we
Yeah.
see people around us doing it. It's a lot. The culture here is. That's why you don't understand why these
Yes.
parents are acting that way, because it's very opposite here.
Very
Let's tell
opposite
this to the
here.
audience, like, how it is here.
Yes.
Like the moms are involved from like 6 o'clock in the morning to like 10 o'clock, and they with their kids all the time
Every
running around.
Yes, and
Like,
we are
it's
watching every expression on their face. So, yeah, we miss things? Yes, we do. But so
we
do
do.
people back home. So do moms
Yeah.
back home, right? So,
I know
parents
moms
back
who
home.
have like this I don't know, but it's something Google 360 or something. They watch their teenager kids live where their car is
Yes,
going, and so
yes,
amazing, like, right? They don't,
yeah.
because I get it, because they do want to make sure their child is safe.
Yes, yes. I have my son. I follow his iPad location, and I do. It's
See?
not that I don't want to know where he is at one point of time, a certain point of time, and so if I sometimes I can't get through him, but if the location tells me that he's where he's expected to be, then I'm good. I don't have to stress, right? So,
Yeah, and then you get to
um,
know, okay, my son is telling me the truth. That's how you're
yeah,
figuring it out, right? You're
yes,
figuring it out that
yes,
this is, and a lot of
yes.
people are doing that. My kids are still young, but
Okay.
they don't go anywhere without me. So
But
so
even
yes, but
then
I
you
get it.
you yeah, yeah,
I
yes,
get
yes. I mean, so I think US is most of the US people are different. This is what Sana was telling me too, because she's grown up here, and she's
it.
like, families in US are mostly well educated, and they're very well aware of their kids, and they're very well aware of like parenting, as opposed
Yeah,
to kids outside. I mean, UK has a different population, and things
yeah.
Europe has a different population. So
But you're right. And majority of the US parents are doing a wonderful. Their kids are doing wonderful job too.
yeah, yes,
Like
exactly. I mean,
everybody's, yeah,
they go home. They have their head on their shoulders. Majority of them. I mean, I see my son's friends. Aren't they mischievous? Yes, of course. Aren't they trying out different things? Of course. But then, but still,
yeah.
overall, they are on track with things. So. Okay, with that note, it was a great review, and we'll come back again maybe in a couple of weeks with more reviews with Hina and Sana and the team. So till then, bye bye.